The Colts GM, Ryan Grigson, told the NFL Network this is what he thought of Luck. The way Luck elevates his game is in the biggest moment isn't reminiscent of any football player so much as it's reminiscent of Michael Jordan.
What?
Yeah, once again, let me read that to you guys. I want to make sure you got it. It's reminiscent of Michael Jordan.
He really said that?
That's what the GM said.
The GM of the Indianapolis Colts said that?
Yes. In the biggest moments, that's what Andrew Luck does. So here's the question, because it's the highest compliment you can pay an athlete. Is that very fair or even a realistic comparison, Stephen A?
It's not a realistic comparison. We understand that. It's football. It's not basketball. It's more of a team game. You need other pieces in place to help you be as great as you are, more so in the game of football than the game of basketball. Let's not get ridiculous here. Plus, Michael Jordan, 6-time world champion, 6-time NBA Finals MVP, the greatest player that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm not going to engage in that kind of hyperbole. That's just simply ridiculous.
Okay.
But I will say this. I do understand the engagement and hyperbole, the fact that they seem so excited or whatever, because what a comeback that was. That was absolutely positively unbelievable. To be down 38-10, to come back the way that they did, for Andrew Luck to close the deal with that 64-yard bomb. I mean, it was just something so beautiful to see the Hilton putting on a show. It was just fabulous in every stretch of the imagination.
It was astonishing.
And
Hyperbolic.
And it was beautiful for me because it validated everything that I've said about Andrew Luck, who he is compared to the RG3s of the world and others.
Boy.
Andrew Luck is a bad boy, and I only say bad boy as opposed to bad man because he's only in the second year in the league. He's young. He's a boy wet behind the ears compared to Aaron Rodgers. But in the end, he's got mad skills. He can play. He's a leader. He's a winner. He finds a way to close the deal in clutch moments. He doesn't shrink beneath the pressure. He elevates his game, and I give him a lot of credit for it. But I'm also going to take a moment to give a lot of credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. What a debacle. What a horrendous performance by them. You know how much I love Andy Reid, covering him all of those years in Philadelphia the way that I did. He just dropped the ball on this one. This is one of the epic collapses that we've ever seen in NFL history. To have a 38-10 lead in the third quarter, run the football, milk the clock. This is fundamental 101 football. How do you make that error? I don't want to hear anything about injuries. Jamal Charles goes down in the first series of the game. You still rush for 150 yards on 32 carries. You still was spotted a 28-point lead, and you blew it. So even though I give all the praise in the world to Andrew Luck, to Hilton and those boys, and that defense for sitting there locking KC down in the second half, in the end, what it really, really comes down to is that Kansas City blew this game more than anything else. And it is something I don't know if Andy Reid and Kansas City hasn't won a playoff game in 20 years. I mean, 20 years, man. I mean, this is just bad. And Andy Reid, 20 playoff games, 10-10. I mean, other than Bud Grant, who has that kind of record. I mean, it's not good. It's bad to lose this way. I give some credit to Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously sensational. I loved it.
Yeah.
But the flip side is Kansas City. It's going to be a long off season for those boys.
So the
what
Michael
a blow.
Jordan comparison is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But he is one. Do you think he'll be one of the greats?
I think Andrew Luck is going to be one of the greats. I've said that on many occasions. And yet the latest piece of evidence to validate what I have said all along about the Colts making the right decision to move beyond the Peyton Manning era. In other words, we're going to...
You just said Peyton Manning was the best quarterback in football.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. See, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start holding up the show so they re-air the things that I say so you can stop lying to the American public. What I have repeatedly said, what I've repeatedly said is that the Indianapolis Colts made a decision for the next 12 to 15 years as opposed to the next 3 or 5. Never once did I say Andrew Luck was better than Peyton Manning. Never once did I say he was a better short-term solution than Peyton Manning. I said if I have a choice to pick Andrew Luck for the next 12 to 15 years or go with Peyton Manning, fresh off of those neck surgeries, for the next 3 to 5 years at best, I'm going with Andrew Luck because I'm going long-term instead of short-term. That's all I've ever said. Stop twisting my words.
I haven't twisted him at all. I don't need to twist him.
Yes, you are.
You twisted him yourself.
Not at all.
Hey.
Not at all.
I stand by what I said.
And so do I.
This was a monumental blunder on the part of the Colts.
No, it was not. Go ahead.
You just said he's the best quarterback in football. And let's see, who did you pick to win it all this year?
No, I picked San Francisco. I picked Denver to go to the Super Bowl.
Who'd you pick to win the AFC?
Denver.
Thank you.
So,
case
this
closed.
year.
Okay, that's 2 years in a row.
Hold on. Can I say this before you go?
Yes.
I guarantee you that Andrew Luck will probably, I won't guarantee it, but probably Andrew Luck will end up winning more Super Bowls than Peyton Manning.
Okay, back to the
Go
question.
ahead.
Michael Jordan is the question. Do I get to speak now? Because I'm going to speak for a couple minutes here.
Yes.
This question was an insult to the great Michael Jordan. The statement made by Ryan Grigson, the GM of the Indianapolis Colts, is an insult to the great Michael Jordan. And you know what? It's an insult to this kid, Andrew Luck, too. It's just not fair. He is a fine, young quarterback. And what I do love about him, nothing seems to rattle him. He has no short-term memory because you neglected the key detail of the game. As I recall, maybe I'm just getting foggy here. I don't know. It's foggy outside. I'm foggy in my mind. I think that Andrew Luck threw 3 interceptions in that game in little more than a half.
I have no recollection
3
of that.
interceptions in a home playoff game in barely more than 1/2 of the football game.
I have no recollection.
Andrew Luck, the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks.
Oh, God, come on.